What up, guys? Gangstapranksta here, bringing you the weekly wrestling review for May 19th. Welcome to the show. If you're new to the show, it's where we talk everything about professional wrestling, from news, reviews, to predictions. We talk about it all. So if you're a fan of professional wrestling, welcome to the show. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. First, we got reviews for Ring of Honor Border Wars, TNA Sacrifice, RAW, Smackdown, Impact, or Ring of Honor TV. We got predictions for WWE Over The Limit, and a bunch of wrestling news. So let's get into it right away. It's going to be a packed show. So first off, we got ROH Border Wars. Happened last Saturday. Or was it this? I don't remember. I think it was last Saturday. Whatever. Anyway, it was a good show. You know, it was a solid pay-per-view from Ring of Honor. There was really no bad matches. All the matches were were good to really good. Not one match was bad. So let's just go through real quick. First off, we got Rhino versus Eddie Edwards. Good match. Eddie Edwards wins. Next, we got TJ Perkins and the All Night Express versus Mike Mondo and the Young Bucks. Good match. Perkins and All Night Express win. Next, we got Jay Lethal versus Tommaso Ciampa. Good match. Lethal wins. Lethal ends Ciampa's winning streak. You know, I like the ending where he did, you know, the backbreakers and then he finally hit the lethal injection. Solid match. Next, we got Lance Storm versus Mike Bennett. Good match. Storm wins. And after the match, he talked about, you know, it's awesome to perform in front of a crowd that respects wrestling and stuff. And I think he said he was open to coming back for another match. So we might see a third match from Mike Bennett and Lance Storm. We'll just have to wait and see. Next, we got Michael Elgin versus Adam Cole. Good match. Elgin wins. Next, we got Roderick Strong versus Fit Finlay. ROH TV title match. Good match. Roderick wins. Actually, Fit Finlay will be returning to Ring of Honor on their next pay-per-view. He'll be taking on Michael Elgin. I think the next pay-per-view is Ring of Honor Best in the World. So that we already got that match signed up. Next, we got the Briscoes versus Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team Fight Without Honor match for the ROH Tag Team titles. Good match. Haas and Benjamin win and are the new ROH Tag Team champs. The finish to the match was interesting. You had Haas get a cloth with chloroform and hold it against one of the Briscoes' mouths until he passed out, and then they pinned him. Pretty interesting finish. So Haas and Benjamin win and are two-time Ring of Honor champs. And last but not least, the match I was looking forward to the most, Kevin Steen versus Davey Richards, Ring of Honor World title match. This was a really good match. Kevin Steen wins and is the new Ring of Honor World Champion. Damn, can't wait to see what happens after this on the TV shows and stuff. What Kevin Steen's gonna do, but I'm pretty excited. You know, he won in Canada. You know, he threw on the sharpshooter, of course, and everyone fucking went crazy. So after the match, Steve Corino comes out and hugs Kevin Steen. So going into this, they were against each other. You know, the feud with I think I forgot because it's been a long time, but I think Kevin Steen turned on Steve Corino. And then you had Jimmy Jacobs get involved and El Generico and all this stuff. But anyways, Steve Corino turning to the dark side, siding with Kevin Steen on this. Again, we'll have to wait and see where this goes. Hopefully they'll explain it on Ring of Honor TV. And yeah, so anyways, that was a good show. If you want to watch this, go to ROHWrestling.com. You can order it on their website. It's only $15. A lot of people that watched this live, there was some technical issues, which sucks. I guess Go Fight Live was not the problem. I guess Ring of Honor still has a bunch of kinks to work out if they're going to stream on their website. But if you watched it live and you ordered it live, they did offer refunds, or you can watch the next pay-per-view, Best in the World, for free if you choose. So if you ordered it live and had some issues, contact Ring of Honor, and I think they'd be more than happy to get that situated for you, because that's pretty unfortunate for them. So yeah, that was Ring of Honor Border Wars. Good show. I do recommend it. Again, not a bad match on the show. 2 title changes. And yeah, that was it. So next we got TNA Sacrifice. It was a pretty good show as well. Definitely a good, solid show for TNA. Let's go through real quick. First, we got Christopher Daniels and Kazarian versus Samoa Joe and Magnus. TNA Tag Team title match. Good match. Kazarian and Daniels win and are the new Tag Team champs. Next, we got Brooke Tessmacher versus Gail Kim. Knockouts title match. Pretty good match. Gail wins. Next, we got Robbie E versus Devon versus Rob Terry in a 3-way for the TV title. Pretty good match. Devon wins. Next, we got Mr. Anderson versus Jeff Hardy. Good match. Anderson wins. I think they messed up the match. Hardy kicked out on 2, but Earl counted it as 3. I don't know if they worked, if this was like storyline purposes or they actually fucked up the finish. I'm pretty sure they did fuck up the finish. It was alright. It was whatever, because they kind of continued the storyline on Impact, which I'm glad they did, instead of just, you know, swiping it under the rug like TNA usually does. Just forget about it. So glad they, we'll talk about that on Impact, but yeah. Next we got Crimson comes out and issues an open challenge. Eric Young accepts, and next we got Crimson versus Eric Young. Pretty good match. Crimson wins. Next we got Austin Aries versus Bully Ray. Good match. Aries wins. He took a crazy bump in this match. He was on the top rope, and Bully Ray just fucking shoved him off, and his back nailed the fucking the guard post, and his back was bruised. Holy shit. Felt so bad for him. He's such a goddamn warrior for continuing on with the match. Shows the heart that he has. But anyways, he ended up winning that match. But man, his back was black and blue. Sucks. I hope he's feeling better. Next we got Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles. Really good match. Angle wins. After the match, Daniels and Kazarian win. Or Daniels and Kazarian come out, attack AJ, and Angle makes the save. I don't know if this is going to lead to a tag team title match at Slammiversary. I think so. We'll have to wait and see, but I think it's pretty likely. And last but not least, we got Robert Roode versus RVD ladder match for the TNA World Title. Good match. Robert Roode wins. So that was TNA Sacrifice. Definitely a good showing by TNA. I do recommend it. It was a good show. But that will run you about $35. So definitely 2 solid pay-per-views, Ring of Honor, Border Wars, and TNA Sacrifice. So it was a good weekend for wrestling. Next we got the shows. First we got WWE RAW. It starts out with Triple H comes out and he talks about, you know, the whole Brock Lesnar situation. Paul Heyman comes out and talks about how Triple H violated some contract and they're going to sue the WWE. Triple H gets in Heyman's face and says Lesnar is going to get everything he wants. He said that sarcastically. And Heyman says he's going to sue WWE for Triple H putting his hands on him. So that's what started off. Next we got CM Punk and Santino Marella versus Daniel Bryan and Cody Rhodes. Pretty good match. Punk and Santino win. Next we got Alicia Fox versus Beth Phoenix. Okay match. Beth wins. Next we got Big Show versus Kane. Okay match. Kane wins. After the match, John Laurinaitis comes out and wants an apology from Big Show. Show gives an apology. You know, Laurinaitis tells him to beg for his job. He begs Laurinaitis not to be fired, but Laurinaitis fires him anyway. This went way too long. Just way too long. So yeah, it just went way too long. It went like 10 minutes plus, and it was just boring to watch, to be honest. Like, maybe 5 minutes at the most, but this went like, including the match, this almost went like 15 minutes. And it was just going on and on and on. So yeah, next we got Brodus Clay, Kofi Kingston, and R-Truth versus Miz, Jack Swagger, and Dolph Ziggler. Pretty good match. Truth, Brodus, and Kofi win. Next we got Chris Jericho versus Randy Orton. Good match. Jericho wins by DQ. After the match, Sheamus and Orton get into it. And last but not least, we have John Laurinaitis comes out and starts talking crap about Cena. Cena comes out, makes fun of Laurinaitis. Laurinaitis tries to chime in, but Cena keeps interrupting him. Eve comes out, hands Laurinaitis an envelope. Cena takes it, and you know, he reads it off. It has a bunch of stipulations for their match at the pay-per-view, and it ends with Laurinaitis smacking Cena. So that was Raw. Next we got TNA Impact. It starts out with Robert Roode comes out, talks about being the longest reigning TNA champ. Well, yeah, and then he says he's going to throw a party next week. Calls out Hulk Hogan. Hogan comes out and says Roode comes out and Roode starts making demands for his party. Hogan says he's not going to have a party next week. Instead, Roode will defend his title next week, and a bunch of people from the roster come out, and Hogan makes a bunch of matches for later. First, we got RVD and Bully Ray. Pretty good match. Bully wins. Next, we got a Battle Royale featuring Garrett Bischoff, Devon, Crimson, Eric Young, ODB, Austin Aries, AJ Styles, Magnus, Robbie E, Rob Terry, and Gunner. This was a good match. AJ Styles wins. After the match, AJ talks about how there's nothing going on between him and Dixie. Kazarian and Daniels come out and show a video of AJ and Dixie going into a hotel room. Again, I'm not a big fan of this feud. I don't think Dixie should be getting involved with these feuds. Nonetheless, a fucking love story between like her and AJ, and like AJ's this good Christian kid, but he's cheating on his wife with AJ. It's just, it's so dumb. Next we got Jeff Hardy versus Mr. Anderson. Good match. Hardy wins. Brooke Tessmacher versus Gail Kim versus Velvet Sky. 3-way for the Knockouts title. Pretty good match. Gail wins. And last but not least, Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle. Good match. Angle wins. This was a good match to end the show. Next we got SmackDown. Starts out with John Laurinaitis. Comes out and talks about his match with Cena. Again, because in case you didn't see it on Raw. And then CM Punk comes out and interrupts him and says he can't wait for Laurinaitis to get fired. Laurinaitis says Punk will face Kane tonight. First match, we got Kofi Kingston and R-Truth versus Darren Young and Titus O'Neil. Pretty good match. Truth and Kofi win. Next, we got Damien Sandow versus Yoshitatsu. Match never happened. Sandow said he wasn't going to wrestle Yoshi. Yoshi called Sandow a chicken, and he apparently just doesn't like to be called a chicken, because he went ape shit and just attacked Yoshi. Next we got Zack Ryder versus Daniel Bryan. Pretty good match. Bryan wins. Next we got Kane versus CM Punk. Good match. Kane wins by DQ after Daniel Bryan gets involved. He hits Kane with a chair, and then Kane just destroys Punk. He fucking kicked his ass. Next we got Santino Marella versus Cody Rhodes. Okay match. Santino wins. And last but not least, we had Randy Orton versus Sheamus in a really good match. Sheamus ended up taking the victory, but this was almost like a pay-per-view match. They had like 15-20 minutes to just wrestle, so I definitely recommend that match. Go check it out. So that was SmackDown. Pretty good show. Next we got Ring of Honor TV. This was the show before Border Wars. So first we got Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team versus D-Line. Pretty good match. Haas and Benjamin win. Next we got Ophidian and the Ice Creams versus the Colony. Pretty good match. The Colony wins. This match featured wrestlers from Chikara, since they're gonna have the Ring of Honor and Chikara are gonna have they're gonna put on a show together. Ring of Honor talent versus Chikara talent, and this was just a way for Chikara talent to get featured. This match was very goofy and fast-paced. It was exciting. I liked the match, so check it out. It's pretty fun. Next we got Jay Lethal versus Ricky Reyes. Pretty good match. Lethal wins. And for the main event, we have Rhino versus Davey Richards. Good match. Davey wins. After the match, the House of Truth attack Davey, and Jay Lethal makes the save. So that was Ring of Honor. Definitely a good go-home show for the pay-per-view, and definitely a good pay-per-view. We talked about that earlier. And if you want to know how to watch Ring of Honor, what you want to do is you want to go to their website, rohwrestling.com, sign up for an account, and watch the show every Thursday. They upload it on their website, and it's definitely a great hour of wrestling. So there's that. Next we got predictions for Over the Limit. Not a lot of matches going into this pay-per-view, but the ones that are there are pretty good. First we got Kane versus Zack Ryder. This is not going to be on the actual card. This is just going to be a pre-show match. It's going to be Kane versus Zack Ryder. Definitely going to have to go with Kane. And that's all to say about that. First match on the actual pay-per-view is Layla vs. Beth Phoenix for the Divas title match. Hopefully they give them like maybe 10 minutes, since there's not a lot of matches on the pay-per-view. Some of these matches can go longer, but I expect a couple matches to be added, like Cody Rhodes vs. Santino. I think that's going to get added. They've been building a little feud there. Miz vs. Brodus Clay. They like to add Brodus to the pay-per-views last minute, so probably going to have him and Miz in a match. So first off, we got Layla, Beth Phoenix. I already mentioned this, so hopefully they give it like at least 10 minutes. And I'd like to see this go 10 minutes. I think it could be a good match. But I'm going to have to go with Layla to take the victory and retain her title. Next, we got R-Truth and Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger tag team title match. Truth and Kofi just won the titles. No need to take it off them right away. Just let this feud marinate for a little bit, you know, build it up. Maybe even add Epico and Primo in there, have some three-way tag team matches. This could be fun. It's definitely going to be a solid match. And I'm going to go with Truth and Kofi to win. Next, we got the four-way for the world title match. Del Rio, Sheamus, Jericho, and Orton. I don't know who's going to win this. To be honest, I think my money's on either Del Rio or Sheamus. Possibly even Jericho. Let's see if I can pick a winner. I'm going to have to go with Jericho. I think they're going to go with Jericho, and then you might have a nice feud between him and Sheamus, you know, maybe even reference the Royal Rumble, because if you remember at the Royal Rumble this year, they were the last two in the Royal Rumble, so you can kind of build off that, be like, you know, Sheamus, you screwed me at the Royal Rumble, but, you know, I came back and took your title anyways. So I think that could be a good feud, and then you could have a Del Rio and Orton feud until Wade Barrett comes back, and he can continue his feud with Orton. And yeah, so I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna go with Jericho, or Sheamus to take it. I think because you could have Sheamus win, and then him and Jericho can feud. And yeah, so Jericho or Sheamus, I'm gonna go with. Next, you got Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk for the WWE title. I am super excited. Like, this is a match in the making, especially for fans of Ring of Honor. If you've been following these guys, like, you know, they've been in Ring of Honor. They haven't really wrestled too much together. They've had, like, a few matches, not, like, a lot, like some people think. Just a couple. Well, like, one or two, to be honest. So I'm super excited. I think this is going to be a really good match. I'd like to see this go 30 minutes. Maybe even, I don't think they would do this, but like an hour. Let them go like a fucking, like a Ring of Honor match. Let them go an hour. Let it go to a draw. And then the next pay-per-view, they have like a fucking Iron Man match. 60-minute Iron Man match. That'd be awesome. Fuck yeah, let's do that. WWE, get on that. That'd be awesome. I'm definitely going to have to go with CM Punk. As much as I like Daniel Bryan, I don't think he's going to win the WWE title. So there's that. And last but not least, John Cena versus John Laurinaitis. It's probably going to be the main event for the pay-per-view, which is whatever, to be honest. You might have Brock Lesnar get involved, even though they said if anyone gets involved. Actually, that would work, because Lesnar said he quit, so he's technically not a WWE superstar anymore, so he could interfere in this match. Maybe David Otunga. Sorry, I burped there. David Otunga, Lord Tenzai. There's definitely going to be interference of some sort. Hopefully this doesn't go too long, like fucking, what's it called? Bret Hart versus Vince McMahon at WrestleMania. That match just went way too long. Hopefully this doesn't turn out like that. Hopefully just keep it short, like 5-7 minutes. And yeah, so just keep it short. But I'm gonna have to go with Laurinaitis. You know, someone's gonna get involved and help him win. So those are my predictions for Over the Limit. I'd have to say I'm pretty excited for the tag team title match, the world title match, the 4-way, and the CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan. I'm so excited for that. Fuck, that's probably gonna be a really good match. So yeah, that's that. That's my predictions for Over the Limit. Next, we got some wrestling news. So first off, TNA has released Anthony Nese and Tracy Brooks. No big shocker here. Tracy Brooks hasn't been used in months. So it was kind of coming. And Anthony Nisi's in the same boat. They signed him pretty much a year ago when they wanted to have the... They signed him for Destination X last year. Or was it last year or earlier this year? I'm pretty sure... Or no. Destination X? Oh yeah, because they switched Victory Road and Destination X, so I forgot. So last year they signed him so he could be part of the X Division, whatever. And they didn't do anything with him, so it's a shame. But I think, you know, whatever. I don't know, maybe some appearances in Ring of Honor. I don't know. Not too much to say about that. So next, TNA has signed, you know, they released Tracy Brooks, Anthony Nese, released Anarchia, I think last week or something. They're releasing a bunch of talent so they can save up their money to fucking sign Brooke Hogan. I don't know why they did this, but Dixie Carter explained what Brooke's going to be doing. So she says Brooke is not going to be a wrestler. Thank fucking God. But I already knew this going in. I knew she wasn't going to wrestle. But rather, she's going to be an executive who is tasked to develop female talents. Also, Brooke's duties will be to help up-and-coming female wrestlers develop their characters, help with backstage promos, and even consult on entrance music. Yes, because she had such a successful singing career, right? Fuck no. This is so dumb. I hate this. This is so TNA, just signing stupid fucking people. First King Mo, now Brooke Hogan. Who else are you gonna sign next? Fucking... I don't know. It's just so fucking stupid. Focus on the talent. This is not needed. Fuck Brooke Hogan. Fuck King Mo. Although King Mo has some potential to be, you know, he's an amateur wrestler. I talked about this last week. If you want to know my thoughts on them signing King Mo, go watch last week's wrestling review. Oh, and one thing, on Impact, they had a little... Dixie Carter was on some MMA show talking about fucking how King Mo is the first wrestler to do MMA and wrestling at the same time. Dixie, you own the company, but I remember a couple years ago, a guy named Bobby Lashley, you know, he did the exact same fucking thing that King Mo's doing right now. He wanted to fight and be a wrestler, and guess what? That didn't fucking work. Just a little secret letting you in on. But, yeah, so that's that, and fucking, now Brooke Hogan, oh my god, TNA. Man, sometimes you do some good things. Impact has been good the past couple weeks, but, oh god. No. Some good news for TNA with all this bad news, shit. They're going to be going live starting May 31st. They're going to have live impacts, and they're going to have a new time slot from 8 to 10. Previously it was 9 to 11, but now it's going to be 8 to 10, and starting May 31st, it's going to be live shows. Last time TNA went live was head-to-head with RAW, and you remember, they brought in the Nasty Boys and Orlando Jordan and Val Venus and fucking Bubba the Love Sponge. So if they're going to fucking bring in a shit ton of people to this live show, their first live show, TNA just quit. Just quit now. Like, if you're gonna do all that shit again, don't even bother to be a wrestling company anymore. No one gives a shit about anybody else. Just focus on your own product. Stop signing all these fucking people. Like, shit, you have so many people on the roster. Why are you gonna sign more people? I don't get it. Don't fucking get it. But this is actually some good news for TNA. Hopefully going live will help. Again, like I just said, hopefully they don't bring in like 1,000 people on their debut live show. So I don't know if it's going to be permanent. I've heard it's just for the summer, just to see how it works and how the ratings are. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but it should be interesting. And next, last but not least, we have WWE has announced that starting after July 23rd, from then on, every Raw will be a 3-hour show. The new format will also feature fans to create matches online or vote on matches. That's actually huge news for WWE. You know, they have a ton of fucking people on their roster, so the more, like, time and television they get, the more they can showcase these people, like Heath Slater, a Justin Gabriel, or an Antonio Cesaro. So hopefully, you know, this is I'm excited for a 3-hour show. More wrestling to watch. You know, I already got to watch 2 hours of Impact, Raw, Smackdown, 1 hour of Ring of Honor, and if there's a pay-per-view, that's 3 hours. And now it's going to be 3 hours of Raw, so definitely adds to my load of wrestling to watch every week. But I like it. As long as it's an enjoyable show, I'm not going to mind. So again, I hope they feature stars that they don't really get to focus on. So yeah, this could be a good move. So yeah, that was it for the weekly wrestling review, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. And what are your thoughts on TNA going live May 31st? And what are your thoughts on Raw turning into a 3-hour show? Leave that in the comments. I'd like to know your opinion. So those were my opinions. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch us next week. We're going to have reviews for Over the Limit, Raw, SmackDown, Impact, and Ring of Honor, and some more wrestling news. So come back next time if you like my thoughts and opinions on wrestling. Yeah, so that's that. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.